First and foremost, it's so good to see all of you back. Jen, that was nice. You had a background. Okay, that was cute. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, uh, today we're going to be dealing with a few topics. I know these are heavy topics and they're not the most exciting topics, but again, compliance. We're looking at all these things you cannot avoid. I'm so sorry, but work is work. If we intend to do it right, we have to do it right. And it starts from us. So we have to make sure that we actually do this correctly. I'm not going to project slides and all that. I'm just going to share samples of how to write an SOP for you to look at so you can ask questions. I'm also going to give you a simple contract that you can have with a vendor, the supplier. These things are important things that you need to do. I don't want to make it so technical today because I want us to also interact in the sense that certain doubts that you may have, you may want to clarify those things and all that. So it's more of an open forum today, this coaching session. I don't want it to turn out to be Jude speaks, we all listen again. No. So please don't. Okay, you can throw your questions even if before I can answer them or if someone else wants to answer them, no issues as well. All right. So, okay, before I go into this proper, now I just want to ask some of you, only some of you have sent me your assignments for the SOP and SIs. What's happening with the rest? Some of you have sent, some of you have not sent. Can I know the reasons why? What's your challenge?
I've sent the first and second assignment. I think the third one I forgot. I need to refer back to the slide. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please go back, have a look. The rest,
I must apologize, sir. I'm working full time. I haven't had a break at all since the start of this course. No weekend for me also, so I'm very sorry for this.
I also haven't had a break.
I also want to apologize for the works that I have not submitted yet. Yeah. I
Hey,
think
you all mengambil kesempatan, tak bagus lah macam ni.
no lah. I think
It's not mengambil kesempatan, sir. We really don't have
What time?
to do.
No.
Yes, sir.
Manage your time. If
No,
the
sir.
rest of us are doing, hey, we all have got things to do. So please
Sir,
don't.
we are ladies, we have to handle my family, I have to handle my house, I have to handle my customer. So many things to handle, sir. Give us some time. I'm not saying we are not going to
Yeah,
submit, but give us some time, please.
Ask the boss, Mr. Colin. Mr. Colin. Why he only says hello to the ladies, huh?
Yeah, I wonder.
Colin, are you there? Oh, he says he has 3 girls to handle.
What a lucky guy.
But Colin. Hey, Colin, turn on your mic lah, for God's sake.
Hi, yes.
Only 3 girls to handle, your wife?
She's just standing next to me.
See? That explains the silence.
Yeah.
That clearly explains the silence.
And when she heard Ugu talking about tailoring, she wanted to know where's the shop.
Okay. I call later, sir. I call you later.
Gone lah. Business networking. Okay.
So she's
okay, but we need a deadline to do this. So you guys, how do we work around this? Because all your assignments is not only mine, but if anyone else is also given you, you need to make sure that those assignments come in. So
Because
please.
one of the reasons this assignment we have included in this training is that we need to report your progress to SME.
Mm,
They want to know, participants came in and they learned something. We are supposed to give them a gap analysis. So with your assignments, all the trainers will need to give some updates.
mm.
At the end of the day, they are the paymasters and they want to know what's.
I think I don't know. It's just a suggestion, right? I feel that for the assignments, right, I know that it's important and then it's good that we learn as well. But like I feel that if SME really wants to see that we benefit from this program, why not they have like your offices? Let's say there's like 10, 20 of us, like maybe we do a one-on-one session on them, then we can explain how, for example, right, we learn about corporate governance, we learn about social media, we learn about accounts and all these different aspects and how it's being implemented in your business. Then it will not be like, it's not going to feel like, it's not a burden, but it's not going to be too heavy for us because, we implement it straight into our business because otherwise, I understand that we also have the onus to deliver our assignment because, we have been given this amazing and, opportunity and then we're so lucky to be selected ones, but still, yeah. I feel that, yeah, if the assignment is streamlined into the business itself, then I think, yeah.
Isn't your
Uh,
assignment streamlined to your business?
Exactly. I just wanted to say that
Um,
your assignments given to you are all streamlined into your business. If you write the SOP, you're actually writing an SOP and SI for your business.
yeah. What I mean is like maybe they should just like do one session and we could, I don't know, they
Yep,
can examine the business itself. I don't know.
I agree on your point, Diana. The issue now we have is here, SME has not only this program, like I mentioned in the earlier stage, we have 10 other training providers doing the same sessions. So everybody has about 20 packs and they have
Wow.
they have so many grants going on. They won't be able to sit in and monitor all the participants. So it's just that we are trying to make it easy for them as well. It's all the SOPs, the accounts, and all that. I feel it is very important. Everybody know that we need it, but we have not done it. So we are just trying to push you to get it settled.
Yeah, understand. Yeah, I definitely plan to deliver all of the homeworks. I'm really sorry I haven't got it done. It's just that if you ask me personally, I don't know about my other friends, but if you ask me why, because daily, like for example, some people have day job. For me, even though I work, like so to say, work from home, it's actually still a full time dedicated job to run the business itself. We have meetings, so, have to meet people as well, and then we still need to do a lot of different aspects. Basically weekdays is full, and weekend it depends. I don't know. Everybody have different responsibility. That's
Of course.
it's an excuse, but I know that's what's
I
holding us
understand.
back.
No, I think we all understand the challenges are there.
Yeah,
The whole purpose of us giving you all the assignments was because one, it was a requirement from SME. Two, it's directly linked into whatever that you're supposed to do for your company. So if you are able to write an SOP even for a department or even for your own whatever that you're doing, even if it's a small company, if you're writing your processes down and you're very clear about whatever that's being done step by step, that actually takes you to the next level already. We need to move. If we don't move, then we're going to be stuck. So we need to implement that into our day-to-day thing already now. I understand, of course, every one of us, all of us have got the challenges here. If we don't have any challenges, then something is wrong somewhere. Especially during this pandemic, it's
Yep, the work from home is totally a different animal now. So we understand, and we would appreciate your effort as well. And because after this coaching is done, I'm supposed to submit the reports. Upon reporting only, I can look into the claims and all that. All right.
He wants to take emergency leave to finish it. He runs the company and he wants to take emergency leave. Oh God.
But he's working
T-
for another company. He will take an emergency leave.
Okay.
No, sir. I'm actually working for a bank. So if I don't do this, I'll lose my job. So.
Oh, you're working
Yes,
for the
yes.
bank. Interesting.
So the business is really a side gig thing. So I really
Yeah, of
until
course.
6 p.m. I'm working. Actually until now I'm still working. So then until like 10 o'clock is all this trading. So really sorry. I'm doing it now actually.
Now, okay. All right. So I expect to see some things in my email today or tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
All right. So never mind. So please let's just work on it. Then after that I'll ask Colin to keep pushing you all for it. Or otherwise I'll take the number and I'll call you all personally. I have the tendency to do that, so just be extra careful with me.
Okay, Jude, we'll try.
Okay.
It's about routine and getting ourselves
Yeah.
finished.
It's getting into that flow, that system of doing things. So let's work on that.
We know
Okay.
it's,
Colin?
yeah, we know it's hard, but we would want to push it and get you guys right. When we leave, we are proud that we have did something for you guys.
But how to leave you all also and go?
No, as in along the way, where the birds have to fly, they have to fly, right?
No, when they fly,
Yes.
we used to see where they fly, in which direction.
At least when spec school is somewhere along the way, like Airbnb
Yes.
and all that, we can be proud. Hey, she was in our class, right?
Stand
Kalau
together.
if we really go out, I'll belanja you all makan lah.
Stand together, take a Wi-Fi and then post on Instagram. Finish. Okay. So guys, some of you have sent, some of you have not, but I really don't know. There could be challenges, maybe, from based on what I said, maybe you've forgotten what has actually taken place. Just to recap on certain things, I am just going to share with you. Hang on. Right. Okay. These are samples that I've extracted, taken it from the net. It's the simplest ones that I could find. So that's so easy for you all right? Nothing extraordinary. You just prepare a document like this. If you want, I can even send it in the group. I can send it to Colin. He can share it in the group. Okay, and you can use this as well. Just edit according to your needs and wants, but have a proper flow. Okay, have a proper flow for whichever things that you are doing. It could be your finance department, it could be your marketing department, it could be HR, it could be anything, anything that requires an SOP to be there. As far as I'm concerned, I think, I don't know whether you guys will agree with me or not. If you work with SOPs, you will be you'll be very organized and structured in doing your work. That's the whole purpose about, me preaching this thing. Get your SOPs in place, get your SIs in place. This is the whole reason why. I know it's work, but then again, I've also given you all this option. You don't want to do it, get an intern. There are lots of interns out there, melambat-lambat dekat luar. They are looking for places to go and do their internship. Take one in. Get them to do the work. Are you guys with me? Get an intern. You just, delegate the work to them. Use it to your advantage, please. And these guys and girls who are looking for opportunities to do their internship, They just need 3 months, 6 months. They're looking for places. Just get them in. You don't have to pay them any high salary. You actually pay them an allowance. Somebody has posted something. What's that about? Oh, no, the main reason for an SOP is to make the boss's life easier. So when you're not around your staff, okay, he's made it very clear. And truth be told, use the services of an intern. Okay, get them, get in touch with some colleges, universities. You can easily get, right? There are things here. As I'm scrolling, you just have a look. Topic and purpose. Why you actually? This is just an example, of course. Review period. Now, why do we talk about a review period? Your SOPs must be revisited. They must be revisited. Your SOPs and SIs must be revisited at least once a year. Go back. Why? Anybody has got thoughts as to why Jude? I can just write it for 5 years and just leave it as it is. Why do I need to look at it every year?
It needs to stay relevant.
Yeah, relevance is one. Second thing, we could have made mistakes in our SOPs. All right, we could have made mistakes. So our physical activity may not match what you have actually written in your SOP. So take advantage of that. And if what you have done is correct and your SOP doesn't correspond with that, then you can actually amend and make it the next version. And even, I mean, it doesn't mean that you only have to make mistakes to look at the review. No. Even if you're doing something right, I will always tell people this: look for opportunities to do it even better. That's what, I mean, as an SME, if you're growing, you're going to do things right and you're going to do things even better for the next phase or next, the journey that's going on. You're going to do things even better. So how are we going to do this? Just don't look for errors alone. Look for what you're doing right and see if you can fine tune it and make it even better. Continuous improvement. I'm a strong believer of that. Kaizen. If you can drill this into yourselves, no issues. Location, where is it located? Distribution, who is actually getting it, for what purpose? The version number is very important. This is what I have a challenge whenever I do consultancies for companies. This is what I notice. They will change the whole document, but the version is not correct. So you have to spend time doing this, and you cannot just delete your previous version. You have to keep your old version. You have to keep. One thing about SOPs, you have to keep your old versions. So if you've got version 1.0, now you've come up with 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, you have to keep everything. Keep it. There's a purpose for that, because audit. You yourself can audit also. You will know what you have done, how you have progressed. Okay. Annexes, okay, you put a detailed SOP template. What is it exactly that needs to be done? You see, the thing is, why I gave you the assignment, simple. If you can do one for your company, whether it's a department or anything of that sort, okay, for your own organization, if you can just do it, you will know whether you're following standards or not. A simple thing. We were talking so much about receipts earlier. Correct? Correct. I'm going to ask all of you. Can someone tell me what's the basic SOP if you're doing purchasing? Once you've done with purchasing, what do you do with the receipts and all that? Just give me step by step. Anyone? Please feel free.
You record it and you
File
file
it.
it.
Jen,
You record it, then you file it.
you record it, then you file it. Okay.
Sir,
Simple,
repeat
right?
the question, sir. Line breaks, I can't hear.
Okay. A standard thing, even for your receipts, okay, or your purchasing, your purchases that you make. You take it, you file it, you record it, and you file it, and you just keep it away, correct? This can even happen for petty cash expenses. My question is this. If you can do that, are those the only things that are involved in it? Your purchases also, you have to keep in mind. If you run an office, you've got people working there. You will have to break your purchases also. They fall under different categories for furniture, fixtures, fittings, all right, stationery items. Everything is different. You can't throw everything into the same file also. But if you don't have an office per se, and if you're working from home or you've just started working, even then, your utility bills also, you have to keep it, you have to actually file it differently, correct? Nowadays, we don't even print it. The electricity bill that comes to you, electricity, water, after some time it fades. It fades. So all these things that you're paying, you need to keep them as well. So what are you going to do? This is what we need to know. What we're going to do with it, step by step, follow. This is what I want you to get into the habit of doing. Because if you don't get into the habit of doing this, we are all going to have a lot of problems down the road. Okay. Who writes it? Who authorizes it? Dates are very important. All right. Who's reviewing it? Most of the time, I think if you are writing it, let's say you have a business partner, it's only two of you. You write it, ask your business partner to review it. Or if he writes it or she writes it, you review it. Okay, try to avoid written by, reviewed by the same person. Huh? Try to avoid that from happening. But what if you're a sole proprietor? You may ask me that. Okay, if you're a sole proprietor. Now, if you're writing the SOP, who's going to review it? And this is where you can even ask other people. You can even ask people like me, all right, or even people that you know who are, in somehow they are if affiliated to your organization or to your company. Ask them to review it. Try to avoid putting written and reviewed by you. Okay, try to avoid that from happening. Why am I saying that? Anybody? Anyone?
Biased opinion.
Yeah. Written by you, reviewed by you, there's biasness in it already. And there's no room for even improvement if you write and you review. How's there going to be any room for any room for improvement? Okay. Right. So just follow through with all this. And authorized by whom? Okay. Use this. If it's replacing a particular version, please indicate. Okay. It's replacing version 1, write it, record it down. And changes to the last authorized version, also record it. This is such a simple template to use. Okay. And even how you actually apply it, what page, all that, all this is so easy to be done. It's not rocket science, so you can do. Okay. Ask me, please ask me anything that you want to know. I just don't want to keep reading stuff because that's not what coaching is about. Ladies and gentlemen, are you all even going to do this or not?
Yes, I'm thinking.
You're thinking, why? To do or not to do? That is the question.
Sir,
Yes, for goodness.
so the SOP should be like this, is it? This is an
Yeah.
example of it.
Sample. This is a sample.
Okay.
It's in Word,
So we
so
just can follow, but we have to fill in ours, right?
you can amend it. You can amend it, but as long as you've got structure, you will have no problem. You can amend.
Our SOP needs to be in Word form only. I mean, what if it's in other forms like video presentation, for example, briefing? Can that be considered as SOP as well?
Yeah, so you record that into your SOP. So if you are saying that you're actually having a briefing, you have to detail exactly and say what the briefing is about. How often do you have the briefing? For what purpose? And what are the various things that are involved in that briefing? So let's say if you're screening a video, you should have a link to actually take you back to that particular video, also reflected there. This is
But
how
it
we
should be
actually have.
summarized in the document, basically. Yeah. So we have the.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
The whole purpose why SME is talking about corporate governance and all that, this is it. This is exactly it. If you don't work in a structured manner, what's happening to a lot of companies is this. Um, Start the business and then all over the place, not sure what is actually being done. I seriously, from my end, I'll just tell you, I cannot work like that. I mean, in my years of working for MNCs or even working for other companies, I personally cannot work like that. Personally, for myself, also, I can't work like that. Okay, doing things on my own today, also, I cannot work like that. I need structure, and I believe all of us need structure. So, because if you don't have structure, how are you going to get things done? Okay. So please give it a shot. Please try, because if you don't do it, then susah lah. Because
So
what was the learning outcome out of
Yeah,
this?
I really agree, because I think for business, right, when I first started with small, maybe 1%, 2%, not having SOPs is okay. But as you grow, and then you don't prepare this SOP, then like you said, it's gonna be quite a nightmare, because if you're trying to manage a lot of people, especially, right? So without proper SOP, then everybody's gonna interpret how to do things their own way. So it can become a challenge. So it's better to have things standardized, right? And yeah.
That's the thing. We call it SOP because it's a standard operating procedure. Standardized. Okay, standing instruction. So we have everything standardized, follow. And there's no room for people to argue with you also. It prevents those kind of things from happening. So at least you don't put yourself in a difficult situation where staff start questioning you and you get into conflict with other people. To avoid all this, clearly stipulated, it's written here, follow. Why do I ask you to go and look for interns to do this work? They can easily prepare everything for you. You just sit down with them and tell them what to do. Ask them to get a notebook, sit with you. You tell them, okay, you dictate, ask them to jot it down. And then ask them to sit down and put it into a document. Then you check the document. Doesn't that save you time? You're saying that you don't have the necessary time now even to do your accounts. I get line intern. Fine, a business intern, find him or find her, ask them to come and do the work for you and go. They will know how to do simple accounts. Profit or loss, P&L, they can easily do for you. But make sure you are also overseeing what they're doing. Don't just leave it to them and keep quiet. Because if they put in the wrong figures and all that, then at the end of the day, the accounts don't balance, you have other issues. But they can adjust and do a lot of things for you. Use the interns. We are having a lot of, I think the government has also started an initiative for internship, for youngsters. They are pushing this through. University grads that are coming out, give them an opportunity to go out and see what it means to work for companies and then pull them in. At least you give them that platform to learn. So you be an instrument in doing this. Okay, but of course, please pay them something. I know some companies are so horrible. They use them like nobody's business, and then they don't give them anything also. I know interns who have gone through hell. Don't do that. Give them lah, like even if you can pay them 300 ringgit also, jadi lah. Something better than nothing, right? Okay, it eases your burden, gives them exposure as well. Okay, simple stuff. There's no fixed rate to give an intern this amount, that amount. Now it's even more challenging because companies are taking advantage. They're taking the intern, yeah, 300 ringgit, 500 ringgit. This is what they're paying the interns. You need their services, use them. Okay. What else? Please ask. Okay. Some of you maybe are dealing with some technical stuff. I know some dealing with agriculture and some dealing with other things as well. I just want to tell you, for technical stuff and things which are not within your scope, please don't go and write it on your own. Check with subject matter experts. Okay, fall back on their services. If you have someone in the company itself, find out. Otherwise, you have to find someone who really knows what this is about. Don't simply write about things which you don't know about, but you Google on the net, pull it out, take and use it as as your final masterpiece. I will tell you, don't. Talk to subject matter experts. Okay. HR, for example, a lot of people think that yeah, so what? This HR, we can just look back at the Employment Act and then just figure out whatever it is. The Employment Act in itself, I'll tell you, there's a lot of things which are expressed and some are implied. So you better be mindful of these things, because even we read it sometimes, it's not clearly explained. So here you go. So express what's expressed and what's implied. Unless you need to understand beyond that also.
Jude, I want to ask about HR. So as we know, minimum salary is either 1,001 or 1,200, right?
Yeah.
What if we have like, let's say we hire someone like part-time, or or maybe we want to, basically we cannot hire someone lower than that, with lower salary than that.
If you hire them on part-time, you're paying them on hourly basis, right?
Yeah, or maybe full-time, but
Full-time?
But lower than that, not possible, yeah? It must be 1,001 or 1,002, is it?
Yeah, that's the benchmark.
Because sometimes, yeah.
But then again, that depends on the nature of your business also.
Would we be penalized if we
Yeah, of course, if the staff goes and reports, of course you will be penalized.
Oh, okay. It means that, for example, would it make sense if we register somebody with KW, I mean with EPF and everything, but then when they notice the pay is actually lower than 1,001 or 1,002. That's what I'm saying. Are we going to get into trouble for?
Of course. Of course, they'll send you a letter, and then SOXO will come to visit you also.
Definitely.
I've already gone through all this already, so I know. They'll send an officer who will carry one bag and come to visit you. COVID or no COVID, they will come. They'll come knocking on you.
Yeah, because sometimes some jobs, right? It just, I'm not saying their time and effort is not worth it. Sometimes because the nature of the job itself, it's not like 9 to 5. It's not like, full times.
Go on contract.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Go on contractual basis, pay by the hour.
Okay. Yep.
Then you don't even have to look at benefits for them. I mean, it sounds cruel. Of course, coming from somebody who's from HR, I'll just tell you, it sounds very cruel. But then the current moment, it doesn't, most organizations, it doesn't justify you recruiting full-timers now. Unless your business is picked up and you are way, on the road to recovery and everything is looking bright and shiny for you at the end of the road. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Every other person that I speak to now is struggling.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Our business as well. Yeah, our business as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody is going through something. Look at contract stuff. You may want to explore contract stuff. Go for interns, contract stuff. You take in an intern 6 months. What headache do you have? Yeah, you have to teach him or her a few things, but they are the youngsters today. They can pick up very easily. They know some things that they know. You show them this thing, they'll tell you, I can do a better SOP for you. Now go ahead lah. I know I've dealt with interns all the while. The 20 over years that I've worked, I've always dealt with interns. And I feel it's nice working with interns because it's nice to groom them. Okay, it's nice to groom them. And even if you decide to take them back after their graduation, you're not taking someone new. You're taking someone who's already familiar with the nature of your business. So there's a plus point there. And even contractual staff, you can take them in for a year or two, and then you decide later down the road whether you want to make them permanent or not.
For contract, do you still have to pay EPF, SOXO and all this?
EPF, no. SOXO, yes.
Okay.
SOXO is mandatory. EPF, no. Because you pay them, sorry, but you pay them pittance. If you go and start deducting for EPF, even if you want to be a nice person, you start deducting for EPF. Now it's what, 9% from the employee. So then their take-home pay, it won't be justified. That's why I'm giving you solutions. Diana, what's your staff strength like? Instead of me asking how many people do you have?
Fixed is like 4, but actually we have a lot that's like under agents. It's called agents, but we have like team leaders but they work on commission basis.
Okay.
But even for the commission ones, some of them actually earn a lot from our business. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? I will share these documents with Colin later, so he can actually give it to you all. You can have a look.
I just want to clarify, Mr. Jude. Do we have to follow the slide SOPs structure, or do we replace it with this?
Okay, what I gave you in the slides basically gives you a guideline, correct? It explains in detail whatever that is needed for corporate governance. This one is something, a simple example for you to look at. You can choose either way, even if you go with that or even if you go with this, ultimately an SOP will come into existence. I don't think this one differs much from that, because when I look at it, both of it is basically telling you the same thing. So you won't run from it. It's very unlikely.
Okay.
You are familiar with writing SOPs, correct?
Yeah. Okay.
You're familiar with it. So guys, those of you who are not familiar with it, you see, this is where we are. I think this is what you have got to look at. You can come back to me and ask me to have a look at it. Even if you're not sure with your SOPs, ask one another. Aaron, I know he's got experience doing this because he's structured in the way he does things. Ask him, he's written. Ask him. You can even get input from one another. There's no harm in it. The slides doesn't differ much from this. This one I needed to show you a sample of what this is, so that at least, okay, earlier you saw that in the slide. Now when you see this one goes more in detail and tells you what to do. So use this.
So Jude, break.
Oh God, it's already 7 o'clock. All right, so when you're going to go for your break now, 7:30 when you come back, I am going to go more on this. Sorry, I have to drive you through this because I don't have a choice. All right. I have to do my job as well and have to make sure that all you guys do this. Maybe I should go to your companies and do some audit. That's what I should do. Okay, so you guys can go for a break. He is already smiling, giving a kind of a smirk.
Smiling because you say you come to our company and audit.
Yeah, come and audit you people.
My company is my house.
It's okay. Come and see whether you're doing it or not. Start with T, okay.
So I'm doing now. I'll show you.
Oh my God, you fell off the chair.
No.
For a moment there, I thought you fell off the chair. Okay.
You've been dropping your phone since yesterday.
Nah, sir, I've been showing you. Nah, I'm doing now.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys can go for a half an hour break. I'll see you at 7:30. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Diana. Okay. I'm going to continue.
Yes, sir.
Wow, nice song all running at the back. Huh? Okay. This part on the revisions bit. I also want to tell you concerning this. Keep in mind that some of your SOPs actually overlap. Like if you say, for example, if you're talking about salary, if you're doing a salary payout, now that SOP may be, of course not maybe, it will be linked to your finance department also. So you must make sure that this document is related to that document. So if I'm looking at your payroll SOP, it must be linked to your finance department. If I don't see the link in it, then you are not writing SOPs. Your instructions are also not clear. So you better make sure that all this is clearly. This is what actually helps for you to build your company. All right. So that's just an example that I'm giving you. Even your administration and HR or admin with finance, there might be a lot of links with it. So I don't know. Even if you run a sole proprietorship company, also if you map out everything, you still will do things correctly. I know a lot of sole proprietors who have got very structured ways of doing things. Even though they are alone, they are very structured in doing the things that they do. So if others can do it, why not us? We can do as well. You have been given all the tools. Okay. My 2 cents worth on that. Of course, the revisions reviewed every year. Please don't review once in 5 years, once in 2 years and all that. Review it every year because it needs to be looked at, good or bad. Now, of course, we are small organizations, so we don't have a quality committee. So how do we know that we are actually doing something which is of quality? Can I just get some feedback from you guys? How do you know that what you're doing is quality work? Vishal? How would you know whether what you're doing, whatever that you're doing, the nature of your work, how would you know that there's quality in it?
For me, like I said, because once I've discussed with the client, then I have a picture in my mind.
Okay.
So, and because I'm a bit OCD and a perfectionist, so I will do it up to that standard, even if the client is asking for something even more simpler. So I'm
Okay.
always one step ahead, because for me it's like my satisfaction first, and then it all definitely will fulfill the client's whatever standard or idea that they had in mind.
Yeah, I'm also OCD. Yeah.
Yeah, then of course after that I always ask for their feedback and their opinion, whether they like it or if they want to add something on. So if they say they love it, then this is not what I expected, then it's okay, it's beyond what they wanted. So
Yeah. But even then, even if people have given you and feedback and they've said, well, you've done, even if people have given you feedback and said you've done a marvelous job, fantastic job, still I will tell you, please look at improvement processes, because don't stop. Quality must always improve.
correct.
Yeah. What are we doing, better for our clients? What are customers looking for? Customer feedback is also very important for your documents.
Yes.
Customer feedback. What are our customers telling us? Most of the time, you see, they say the thing I don't want you to be, some of you may be thinking also, Jude is saying, there's so much of documentation that needs to be done and all that, but we've got work to do. We have to take care of our clients. We have to take care of our customers. So why is he expecting us to do so much of paperwork? But I'll just tell you this also. If you, in your paperwork, if you don't have feedback from your clients and you don't have all those things documented, I think you are not actually taking the customer into consideration when you're doing your business. You're not. You're just running the business for the sake of running the business. That's it. You don't have the customer in mind. Because if you have the customer in mind, you will ensure that these things are in place. Even if customer, I always tell myself this, complaints, they're actually a gift. Why do you think I'm actually telling you that the complaint is a gift?
For you to improve on areas that you are not observing. So get a perspective from someone else.
Yeah. So if people are complaining, yeah, what are they complaining about? It's time to take stock of yourself, sit down, evaluate the situation. I mean, look at the kind of criticism you're getting also. If it's constructive, that means that you have to build. If it's destructive, don't take it. Ignore it. Just ignore. Destructive, don't take it. All right? Just ignore it. I do corporate training. I can tell you, every class, there's at least one person who will create havoc. Every class. Okay? Every class, there'll be one person who will create havoc. And I have my ways of managing it also. I don't handle people. I manage it. You'll be surprised. I have actually bonded the ones which caused the most havoc, okay, have become my best friends. What did I do differently now? Again, the choice is yours. Because at the end of the day, he's still my client, she's still my client, correct? They're my customers. They're seated there. So if they're giving me feedback, if they're reacting in a particular way, I want to understand why. Uh, so maybe there's some improvement that I need to do. Yes, I'll go ahead and do it. But then, of course, there are some who, literally will want to create chaos. Okay. So what do we do then? What do we do?
I want to share my experience, right? Recently, I had like a very weird phone call, like from somebody who called me, but then asked about our company, like in a very authoritative way. Like, so where are you based? So talk about company, where you register, give me your license number, blah. But then without introducing himself, I thought like, is this a government? Is this a government rep? I said, if you are, tell me which agency you're from. I'll be happy to, present myself at your agency so that you can present all the documents that require. And then the person continued to harass me, like in a very condescending intonation.
Yeah, the manner. Okay.
Yeah, manner. Yeah, I really don't know what was going on. And then because at that time I was really, really tired. I just came back from it was afternoon, just came back from grocery shopping, just heavy lifting and stuff. And then for somebody to do that, and then the person, I mean, for the first few minutes, it's still okay. But when it continues, and then the person sound very, they just, we know he's there to make trouble. I don't know what. I don't know what. And then I end up as I said, yeah, I don't want to talk to you, sorry. And then I just pop and put on the phone. And then when I message, apparently it's like one of our clients, yeah. But then I asked him why you didn't introduce yourself properly, right? If you had introduced and just said, get straight to the point, what are the issues or conflict that needs to be solved, then I'll be gladly assist rather than riling me up and getting me angry for spending time. I don't know where the conversation is going. Yeah, and then yeah, what I'm saying is that yeah, there are troublemakers everywhere actually. Yeah, troublemakers. Yeah.
Which is good. I am so happy you raised this, Diana. And I'm going to ask all of you. All of you are dealing with customers. Do you have an SOP to deal with difficult customers?
Count to 5 and calm down first.
That's something that you do for yourself. But what is the SOP that you have for difficult customers? Do you have something written down that you know what you have to do step by step?
Nope.
Yes, this is the thing. That's why you see everything goes back to standards, how we write things down and we put it down and we follow. Not all, I mean, again, you may turn around and tell me, but not everybody who comes back to us gives us this kind of problems. Different people give us this different kinds of problems. But the thing is, we can anticipate that this kind of things may happen. Okay, it may happen. So at least you have a general outlook on what needs to be done rather than being caught off guard. It's the same thing. That's why you see it's a simple thing, but then do we have it documented somewhere that this is what we should do? Okay, you answered the call, so you know what to do, Diana. You even cut the line or whatever. But what if it was one of your staff and they disclose all the information? And then can you get angry with your staff for doing that? He or she may just turn around and tell you, I wasn't aware. Is this the company policy? I don't know. But this person asked, I thought it was authority, so I gave. You don't have this thing properly in place. You don't have it documented in a proper manner. So, of course, nobody knows what to do. We get this all the time, every time. No one is spared. So that's why I said, go back to quality. Quality, again, you found out it was your client, it was your customer, existing customer. When you ask them, why did they do this? Were they able to give you answers for that?
Yeah, actually, it's because I think our business partner, is being dishonest. One of the resort that we work with lie to our client. They give us some money to give to the client, to give to the client, but in fact, they have never done that. They've never done that. But then, if you weigh, right, resort, and we're talking about good brand name here, resort, and us, a small like a small fish in the giant ocean. Of course, client will tend to believe the resort, right? A brand that people can relate with. And so what the client did next, the client himself is actually quite unreasonable, and his manner has always been a bit going towards harassment. It has always been that way, but it's okay. That aside, what the client did was add me and also a spokesperson from the resort in the same WhatsApp group. And then I calmly asked I asked them to clarify. I said, yeah, resort, may I know, because I always deal with your big boss in KL. This is how the contract is set. May I know what's the deal? Like, if you guys really give us some money to give to the client, may I know whom in our team did you liaise with? Can you provide us the check? Where's the, yeah? Because in email, in writing, they told the client explicitly they have given a check to us. So yeah, but I think it's quite crazy. I think the more I do business, I think the more I realize, the world is filled with a lot of dishonest people. I don't know how they they run business, throwing people under the bus just to get themselves free or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it happens all the time, every time.
Yeah.
They just take people and throw them under the bus. But then my question again would be this. Do we have our things in place?
Have what, sorry?
Do we have our things in place or not?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But because we have everything in writing in terms of our contract with the resort, and then our invoice itself already clarify what are our stance on if something happened, for example, right? Everything is clear. So suddenly the client went quiet after we are in the same chat room. The client put me and the resort rep in the same WhatsApp group. But then the client suddenly stopped harassing us. I think because he realized that we are telling the truth, right? And then we are trying to provide him an alternative to make sure that his demands is being fulfilled, for example. Yeah. Because our stance is always like we try to ease things, not to make things difficult, right? If it's within our power, or we even go beyond to make sure everybody have a pleasant experience, client or partners, everyone. But I think the sobering part about the conversation is that it's actually the resort shaming themselves, basically, right? When it's out in the open that it's them who actually it's some serious allegation when you say something like that. I mean, I could sue them, right? Don't you think? I could
You
sue them.
could, but again,
Yeah, but of course I don't want to do that.
My question would be, you have these resorts as your business partners, right?
Yes, yes, and yeah,
So this
one
now,
of the that we work with. Yeah, yeah,
so this becomes complicated because
yeah,
they are in business with you.
yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
and it's a lot of my transactions, a lot of money involved. And then of course, as a business person, you cannot severe tie with, people that you make business with, even though, many times a lot of them would misbehave. I think what we need to do is straighten them up on it, negotiate in the next contract or something, right? That's what I did in the past. And then a lot of the people that I deal with, I mean, I'm a nobody, and I have to deal with a lot of these top managers, which are mostly males. And yeah, sometimes I think they just they would do whatever they want, right?
MCPs.
What?
MCP.
What is that? MCP?
Male chauvinistic pigs.
Yeah, yeah. And I would tell them, I mean, I used to be like a timid person. I don't want, I mean, not timid. I like peace. I like peace, quiet. I'm that kind of person. I don't like to get into conflicts. I try to avoid. But then one of the things I realized when you start a business, right? Definitely you're gonna have to get into conflicts. You're gonna have to stand up for yourself, your team, your client, your business, for example, right? You are gonna have these battles. If you're not willing to go into these battles, then you cannot be a business person. Yeah, because definitely you're gonna encounter these challenges, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to have conflicts, do you have an SOP for conflict resolution?
I haven't written. I haven't written
Ah,
them. Yeah. But so far, currently it's more like verbal mentoring of the people underneath.
you see, one thing that all of you need to know, we have exposure, so we take it that, at the back of our mind, we just come up with something and we know how to deal with it on the spot. How about those who don't know how to deal with it? Who work for you? But they don't know how to deal with it. So what have we done? Either to coach them, okay, or to mentor them, or to guide them into these are the things that you should do if you're dealing with difficult customers. Sometimes you're not there. You may be out of the country, or there may be some emergency, or you may be in some other meeting and someone else picks up the phone. So how do you deal with this? As I said, if you have everything properly documented, people will follow. We're structured, so we follow. You look at your client, I mean, the one who actually came up to you, or who called you, how did you do damage control after that? There must be some method that you actually used, correct? What did you do?
For me, I always get personal. I mean, I feel it's important for people to understand our intention. It's not always possible because we are, communicating remotely. But I feel like the difference between an angry client to a happy client sometimes is communication. Because, for example, there has been issues in the past, not issues, challenges, right? When our team deal with clients and then their clients are angry. But whenever the client talk to me, then the client will be cooled down. It's like, okay, now I understand. Because first, because I think, getting the message across in an honest way, maybe, I don't know, and then giving assurance, and then setting the intention right. Because if we set the intention, for example, I'm gonna make profit out of this, I'm gonna get my commission out of this, then you're gonna be approaching client and the business in a different way. But if you are sincerely really want to deliver the best, I feel that even an angry client, I got clients, they were actually angry with my staff, with our team, and then I had to take their call, and then they start swearing. I'm not joking, like really swearing and stuff. But then when I explain properly, and then not just word lip service, but of course you have to deliver as well, right? Deliver what the client wants, or what's gonna make them happy. And then the client was like, oh, okay. And then most important thing is communication, I guess. Yeah. Explain things properly, then they're okay. So far, it has worked for me.
Yeah, but my question is, would it work for somebody else?
Yeah, that's another question. Yeah, but what I did was I didn't write SOP. What I did was like sometimes I record conversation. Sometimes I screenshots my conversation with clients, right? And then it's like part of our team training, share with the team to know, for example, in our team there are files. If your client asks, let's say NB clients, and they have questions, this is how I answer. And that one is not, it's not like a SOP, but it's actually a real conversation, yeah, for them to learn from. But yeah, I think today I'm reminded that, it's probably better to do it as SOP form.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not it's not that I am suggesting it to you. I am telling all of you, do it. It's not a
Yeah.
suggestion. This whole thing, that this whole program that is being run by SME, asking the vendors to run this program, is not to give you options to think about. This is not it. I think if you guys actually came into this program thinking that this is a platform for us to see and think whether we want to or don't want to, then this is the wrong program. Because this program is actually to tell you these are the things you must do. Why am I actually asking you? Even you may think, why even conflict resolution also I need to have a proper documentation concerning this? How do you handle conflicts? You would know how to handle it. Someone else in the organization may not know. And you can't keep telling everybody how to handle it also. So if you have it properly documented, people can also fall back on something and read. Everything goes back to something that's in a written form. Be mindful of this because I don't know, for me, all the screenshots, I said this, you said that, and then we discussed this. No, you're dealing with a resort. That's your business partner, and this is a client involved. So you need to get everything in place. Just like how you have a contract with the resort, right? I'm going to move on to that after I'm done with this. I'm going to move on to contracts. Now, you have a contract with the resort. You have everything spelled out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do you have everything spelled out? You want to actually safeguard yourself, correct? They want to safeguard themselves. There's a lot of give and take in that also. A contract is also part of an SOP. You have to have a contract. That is why you run a business. It's not just I feel, you feel. So today we do, tomorrow we don't do. No. Why was I saying earlier? If you don't have the time to do your filing, receipts, this, that, it seems like very petty things, but this can turn out to be very big things in the long run. Simple. So get an intern. Okay, fine. You don't want to get an intern. Okay, no problem. You want to do it yourself. Get a folder, put all the receipts inside, keep it end of the week, find at least 1-2 hours, sit down, sort everything out, and go on with the rest of the day. If you don't get into that habit of doing these things, how do you want to move forward? I mean, I'm not here to teach you how to run your company. That's not my job. That's not my job. All of you have got a different nature of business. Okay. I do things differently also. Okay. I operate my business works differently. So it's not the same. All of us work in different arenas, in different areas, and I can tell you this is the right way for you to run your business. That's not my job. But whatever that's common that needs to be done has to be done. There's no two way about it. That's why we've been pressing, they highlight that these things need to be done, because these things you can't run from this. And if you're not doing it, then I think better for me to start questioning you now before authorities come and ask you, why didn't you do this? And you can't tell them you don't know. I think that's a very lame excuse to tell people that you don't know. Today, everything is available everywhere. How can we tell people we don't know? I don't think people will buy into that story anymore. So you tell people you don't know. So just be mindful of what I'm saying. So quality, if we go back to this, you don't have a quality committee, you have to ensure personally that quality is always maintained. Take feedback. Okay. Good feedback is also for you to become better. All right. How do you deal with situations? If you don't have these things mapped out, how do people know? What if you get a client who can't speak in English, who doesn't understand Bahasa either? What is your SOP for that? The client only is able to speak in some other foreign language, doesn't understand English and Bahasa, speaks broken English, broken Bahasa. What do? Do we have a standard that, do we get someone else to deal with it, someone who speaks that language, or how are we going to deal with this? Is this going to be something impromptu, or do you have something mapped out for this also? It can refer to all our businesses. This one is common things. T for that matter, even you look at T, he's dealing with kids.
Yeah, sorry, what?
Yeah, you're dealing with kids, correct?
Yep.
Parents come back to you and they give you feedback. That is for you to improve on your quality, correct?
Yep.
If you take it for granted, then there's going to be issues. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely correct.
Yeah, it can't fall on deaf ears. So again, I'm sure you've got some written standards that you have, T, that you want all your trainers to follow, right? Your coaches to follow?
No, not written, but training is done verbally and in person. So
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but when you do the training, what do you give them?
okay, when they on their first day joining us, right, they actually don't do anything but just watch, be present and watch how we do the actual coaching itself. And then after the training session, then only I talk to them. You notice this at the start. How do we do it? Then when there's an issue, how do we handle it? Then how do we close the session, or how do we keep the kids engaged? So these are not written per se, but they have been explicitly told, and I also try and cover any possible situations.
How long are you going to keep covering any possible situation?
But sir, I really want to say this also, because if you have an SOP for every single situation, right, you are not teaching people to solve problems. Then everything also need to refer to SOP. SOP don't cover, then they will be like, never cover, don't know what. So
okay, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. It'll become like as though it's a fixed set of rules and regulations that everybody just follow the same thing, right?
yeah, so my opinion is that people become very robotic and they don't practice enough problem solving skills on their own. This is just my take on it.
No, you're absolutely right. You're not wrong about it. And having said that, okay, why we are actually pushing across that you have standard guidelines is because we're not taking away people's ability to reason and do, to make decisions, or problem solving skills. We are not, because I do training for even for problem solving, and I noticed that, yeah, you're right, you get a lot of people who don't even know how to solve simple things. Why I'm actually asking you this is also something very important. When I asked you, you can't be there all the time also, and sometimes when you brief them, different people will interpret things differently also. This is our struggle. Okay, and some ask questions, some don't. That's why sometimes when I think you would be able to reason with this also. I think when parents come back to you, because I deal with a lot of parents, I know whether they are young or they are old, parents are parents.
Yep, correct.
And they want you to work miracles. They want you to work miracles. They don't say much, but from their looks, just looking at you itself, they'll tell you that I expect this from you. And unfortunately, none of us are blessed with the magic wand in our hands. So
Yeah,
that's
which is very unfortunate because which means at this point in time, right? Right now, why it works is because I'm the one who's handling practically every parent lah. So in future, yes, if I were to hand this down to someone, definitely I will need to have all these written instructions in place for succession planning, so to say.
exactly, because you can't replicate yourself and be all over the place at the same time, correct?
Yep.
So you better start planning for these things, and now is the best time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd have recognized some potential in your team. You would have recognized some potential that you would want to develop. So having recognized those people, you need to get these things in order ready for them to see and for them to move on. We are not taking away people's critical thinking abilities. We are not taking away people's problem solving abilities. With SOPs, you'll actually help them to do things. The SOPs serve as a guideline only, not as a solution. No, they serve as a guideline. From there, people need to, of course, come out and then decide what needs to be done. And this is how we coach. How we coach and we mentor people. Okay, you get these things done, follow accordingly to this. But if you have nothing to fall back on, then this is dangerous. Because I'm talking from a business perspective, it's got nothing. The kids, the parents, they are your clients. Anybody also for that matter. Some clients can be so demanding. Some don't say anything, they just disappear. They don't even tell you why they don't want to do business with you anymore. So you get that as well. And they just walk away. So I don't know. For me, it's always about quality. What am I doing right? What am I doing not wrong? But what am I doing that's not so right? And how do I get to the next level with this? I keep looking at avenues for this. So I write. I make sure that I write down. I do things. This is important. I'm sharing this with you because I'm a competency based guy, ISO, competency based. I will fall back always on these things. I'll look back at what is it that you have presented me with. Even if you want to take an intern on board, okay, we did the onboarding. We talked about that subject as well, getting them on board. You get interns on board or new employees on board. What do you have to give them? You just tell them, and then nowadays you don't even get people writing things down. They take their phone and record everything and probably go back and listen to it. Maybe yes, maybe no. Gone are the days when we employ people and we actually ask them to sign. They actually understand what they're supposed to do, everything, sign and acknowledge. We don't do it anymore. Maybe some of you do it, I don't know. I said the nature of your business is all different. But we need to get ourselves structured, so we need to start doing this. Remember, I'm not taking away people's rights to think in a critical manner. I'm not taking that away. I'm not taking away people's ability to solve problems. You guys need to ensure that you know how to deal with these things and you groom other people to deal with it also. Because you can't be everywhere 24/7. You can't turn up in every place. And sooner or later, you'll need to start grooming other people to take on. This is the challenge. If you have things properly documented, people can actually fall back and say, yeah, I read up, so I roughly know what needs to be done. I move from there. Please, your SOPs and all that, please don't write elaborate things. Don't write grandfather, grandmother stories in your SOPs and SIs. Don't write grandfather, grandmother stories in bullet form, in point form, directly to the point. Nothing. If you're going to use any jargon, please, for a layman to read it, also have the understanding explained there as well. Okay, because even a lot of terms that we use, terminology that we use, some people don't even understand what we're talking about. So if you're using a particular jargon, anything that's there and you feel it's going to confuse people, have a remark column to explain what that is about also. Sounds like a lot of work, but once you get into the business of doing it, your customers will also, you will see that they will also benefit from what you do, because they will notice that you are structured in the way you do things. There is a proper method to be followed. So everyone follows the same method. There's no discrepancies in that sense. Otherwise, you do something, they do something else. This is where issues crop up as well. Okay. I don't know. These are my thoughts. The rest of you, I'm asking you, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? Please share. It's just not about me speaking, not about one or two of you, the rest of you. Hislik, what are your thoughts, Hislik? Hislik, are you there? Okay, I don't hear anything from him. Sulaiman?
I'm here, sir.
Yes, please share. Bagi pandangan.
I can say that kalau we're talking about Shopee, talking about my field, agriculture is, I think is very important. I can say
Penting
that,
kan?
yeah, but very, very, because no, because if you want to hire somebody, because now everybody can come in and kerja with you. So what you going to show him?
Betul. You need,
Yes,
because you are more into agriculture kan?
exactly, sir.
So kalau dalam bidang pertanian ni, kalau kita tak ada kita punya nak cakap guidelines ke, kalau nak kata SOP ke, kalau kita tak ada benda ni, tak dimeterai dalam sebarang dokumen, tak ada dalam benda tu, macam mana kita nak explain kat orang kan?
Exactly, sir. You are right. That's why I managed to write one basically. But the thing is that we had to take the SOP with the, as you say lah, SMEs, subject matter expert. In my field, there are few. One is we call it, the highest is Jabatan Pertanian lah. But other things that our colleagues in our network. So who's, we call it Otai lah, and this person that we are refer to lah. When we write something, then we refer to him lah. It's like our gurus lah in our fields. So we discuss with him, and so okay, this is my SOP. So what do you feel? What's your thought on that? So then we come up with something that is workable lah. Then as then agree with you again, we have to do revision in the field. That's very important, I can say.
Because when you speak to subject matter experts, memanglah dia orang tahu kan apa yang is happening.
Exactly,
Kadang-kadang kita tak tahu because we don't know, and if we try to be too smart, nanti problem for us only. And
exactly, sir.
Kalau, and you have to do revision from time to time because everything is changing today.
Yes, yes.
Everything is changing today. Our way of doing business is not the same anymore already.
Yeah. Even if we are the solopreneur or whatever, so I mean you have to sensitive to the changes in our environment lah.
Yes, we have no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
As I mentioned, I think I mentioned this during the class.
Exactly.
You know, from the Institute of Logistics and Transport, CILT, Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Reshma Yusuf, in one of her sessions, she said, you either digitalize or you vaporize. That's what has happened to all of us.
Yeah.
So now we are looking at a lot of things. It's not the same. So thanks, Sulaiman. Thanks for that feedback as well.
Sure,
Anyone
sure.
else? Anyone else?
Yeah, maybe I can share from my
Yes.
experience. Okay, I think when talking about the SOP, because I'm in the manufacturing line, it's really very important. So we have to put our SOP in place properly. It starts from the raw material up to the end products. So, but and luckily in our company right now, we are preparing for the ISO 9001. So because it helped us to put everything in place faster and in the right way, because we have our advisor. Because we tried it earlier, we try to do it on our own. We encountered problems because SOP is easier said than done, because there's a lot of things to be done, starting from planning for the guidelines and then implementation. I think the problem is implementation, because it needs manpower actually, because we need somebody to record it. Because SOP really guideline, and then we have to finish certain type of forms, to follow our SOP. So that procedure, I think, the time consuming, and we need manpower. So in order to overcome that, so we decided to do it properly. And then when we have a target, because we put the company's vision to have to obtain the ISO 901 by end of this year. So everybody in our company work hard to achieve our objective. So I agree with you, SOP is very, very important. So, but I think everybody agree with that. But I think my personal opinion, we have limitation and to do that actually. It's not that we don't want to do, but sometimes it comes between the do SOP and then catching for the sales, Sometimes we have to choose which one to go first.
Okay, so how can we overcome this limitation?
So that's why we want to. My opinion, we have no choice. We have to put a vision in our company. So everybody must have one target. So that's why I think we decided to make sure everybody do their parts. We had a meeting, so we decided when we want to achieve our objective. So from that, we slowly program our what you call it, our plan, so what to do step by stage, and we have to we call that divide our members to different teams, so we also have our we call the quality manual executive, so we have to appoint one person to handle this project, then the rest have to follow, so otherwise it won't move. We cannot go anywhere.
You
So
need, yes, you're right. You need a designated person to take charge. Betul.
yeah, so that's what we did, and then I think we are in the process of doing that. Hoping that by end of this year we manage to complete our SOP.
God willing, I hope everything falls into place,
Yeah.
because ISO, you are of course on a different level, because
Yes.
I do ISO audit, so I know it's on a
I
different level. So you have to make sure that everything is in place.
Yes,
But for
really.
those of us who are still not looking at ISO, just the basic things, so that at least we have our basic rules, everything in place, everything to be followed. That actually helps us quite a bit. That's important. Thanks, Hayati. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah. So, yeah, Diana, you've got a question. You are asking, how does everyone keep and make SOPs accessible for staff team? Is it in one common folder? Is it via training? Now, we normally keep it in a common folder. All right. And we give access to the people who are directly in need of it. All right. Not everyone gets access to it also. Like if it's for finance, then only people who are in finance need to see it. Okay, the SOP is concerned. If you've got HR and finance looking at it, yes, maybe it makes sense. Not open for everyone. Okay, and the folder must be accessible. A lot of people need to know. I go and do audit. Some people don't even know where the folder is. I get a shock of my life when I ask them, so where's the folder? It's somewhere here, but we don't know where it is. Somewhere where? So people don't, they've even labeled the folders and the documents wrongly. It's simple things. And then, they say, oh, go and look back at the date. The latest date is the latest version. That's not how things work. We have to make sure that we label it correctly also. Otherwise, we're all over the place looking for documents. I mean, we've all come from corporate, we've all come from the working world, so we know how things work. So if you want to get things done correctly, implement and do. That's about it. Training can be given. Of course, training can be given. But even in training also, you need to give, even if you don't want to give hard copy, you need to give soft copy for people to read. If you stand there and if you're doing virtual or even face to face, you need to give them something. People need to fall back on something. Okay. Can't run from this. Huh? Asnavi, are you back? He's there. Okay.
Oh, Jude.
Yes.
Thank you. I did my SOP already for the lodge. No, because all this while I thought, I just, because hostel is more like training for them, but I never thought of written it down. So it's good if to have it written down, because sometimes I have volunteers and everything. So at least they know, because I have another partner who is running it with me as well. So he might thought it differently from what I taught them. So it's good to have like some guidelines, what they have to do every day and everything. So, so from morning until they left the premise. So yeah, it's good.
Common ground.
What's that?
Common ground, common understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we cannot expect everybody to think like us also. If you think that, your business partner, both of you got into business because both of you think alike, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, because different people have different, maybe for that person, once or alternate days sweeping and mopping is okay, but for me, I like it to be done every day, so it might confuse the staff and the volunteers as well. So it's good to have everything written down, so they know basically what they have to do every day and everything, like a checklist. Yeah.
Okay, Hafiza, I just want to share with you. I do training for hospitality.
Okay.
Right? Today, it's mandatory for you to mop, even wipe surfaces, everything. And we have a standard SOP that we are all following. Wear mask, sanitize, social distancing. People are finding it so difficult to follow those SOPs, right?
Yeah.
On
Because
a day, sorry.
Yeah, because especially your staff, because you might not be around every day. So, sometimes because you already run the business like for many years, so basically either the floor, the corridor has been swept or mopped or not. So they can't lie to you. So,
Exactly.
So yeah.
So put it down on paper. Simple things, simple steps.
Yeah.
Actually, we call them baby steps. If you get your baby steps in place, everything else is in order.
Yeah, it's better to have it like that, I think, because all this while I was like, oh, when you have free time, then you can do this. They could take it for granted, So I would just write it down. Okay, in the morning when you arrive first thing, just check all the check-in list and everything. After that, you can start sweeping all the main corridors and everything. Then you check how many rooms you have to clean and everything. Then you get, so it's like, it's better now. So they have like the whole journey for the whole day is already pre-planned. So, and how to clean the room and everything. So I just wrote it down, so it's easier.
Good. I'm
Thanks,
happy. I'm
Jude.
proud of you.
Yeah, because I never thought of written it down anyway. Because for me, I thought it's like a basic knowledge, So, but for some people, they might, like the cleaning standard and everything might be varies for each individual. So it's good to have everything written down so they know what to check, like a checklist for them. Yeah.
Thanks. I just ask of all of you one question. We are all following an SOP today. Correct? All of us are following an SOP today. You go out, you have to use a mask. The mask must be 3-ply. I don't know whether people know whether it's 3-ply or 2-ply or what it is also, but we use anyway. And then we carry sanitizer with us, or we go to places, we know already what's the SOP. Scan My Sejahtera first, all right? After that, take temperature, sanitize, and then go in. And then you sit, even at the restaurant, you sit at a table, it's only 2 at a table. The place that is marked X, you cannot sit. Why are we following all this? You don't follow, you pay a 1,000 ringgit fine. Why are we following all this? Even with this kind of SOP, which is not only nationwide, it's worldwide now. I'm just asking you, why do we have every day we have people who actually break these rules? Why? Are they doing it on purpose? Or is it that they don't understand? What's the reason behind it?
I think they think it might not happen to them.
Yeah.
They took it very lightly.
You take it literally, you take it lightly, you get it, you give it to other people.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about SOPs, you see, now everybody knows. You ask a child also, now a child knows what an SOP is. And so I think I've driven my point across to all of you already. So please get this in line. I will share the document with Colin later. You can look at it. You want to use it, you use it. You don't want to use it, you can find tons of other things on the net. Or if you want to come up with something else and you want me to have a look at it, share it with me. It's confidential. I will not breathe a word to anyone. You have my word on that, because I'm an ISO guy. So I can look at it and I can tell you whether you're on track or not. Okay, and I will tell you if I look at something and if I find that you have stated it here but you have got no documented evidence to show, nothing attached to it, I'll ask you where this is. So where is it going? At least I can help you with that. So this is what the coaching is about. It's not about me talking. All right, let's walk the talk. Let's do it. No point of just planning things and not doing stuff. Be results oriented. Okay, so I'm done with that and I'm going to move on with the contracts bit. Okay, I want to touch on this. This is also a sample. This is a very simple thing for a vendor contract. Just sharing it with you. You guys may have even bigger, better contracts, and there are tons of templates for contracts out there. Okay, you can find it in books, you can find it online. My greatest challenge is, okay, if you have got legal knowledge, you've studied contract law and all that, then this is not really something difficult. Okay, because you know what exactly is to be done. So it doesn't become much of a challenge. But how about for those of us who don't know what this is about? We're not sure whether this contract that we're drawing up, whether is it favoring us or is it favoring the other party? How do we know? Who can we talk to? Who can we ask? Could that be a challenge for some of you or for most of you? You read your contracts. Do you understand what's in the contract? Or do you take it and go and see a lawyer? Do you get legal help? Allah, ask Jude. Balik-balik ask Jude. No, people, seriously.
Mr. Jude.
Yes, yes.
I can see. My opinion is that I think we can ask. I mean, if you have friend with a lawyer, so make friend with them, then chit chat with them. As belanja lah, tertarik ke apa ke. That's about it lah. That's my thought lah.
Betul. Nak beli teh tarik and all that also, yeah. The thing is, if you want to get people to do things for you on pro bono basis, you better start building lah, networking, build ties with them. Okay, because you want pro bono, you want services, you want to ask for the assistance. But then again, not everybody is going to do it pro bono for you forever. Because after some time, there are implications for this pro bono thing also. You hear me out, then maybe you will understand and maybe you reason with me or maybe not. When you ask people to do things on FOC basis, people don't take it seriously. They may not even look at the document. They may just, just breeze through it, run through it and say, yeah, everything is fine. Because you're not paying them at the end of the day. That's it. But like what Sulaiman shared just now, taking them out, buying them teh tarik ke, kueh or whatever, just the basic stuff, even just taking them out for a small thing. Oh my God. I'll open a social media page as Ask Jude. Colin, I'll kill you lah, Colin. Okay. So anyway, we need to know. Okay. We have to be so sure of what we're actually doing. So I will suggest this to you. Okay. My suggestion to you. It's not difficult to understand, read about contracts, go and buy a contract law book. You can even find it online. Diana's eyes opened up wide. I saw that. Go and get a book. Okay. Go and look at how contracts are actually drawn up. What are the terminologies, the differences between will and shall, all these things. Go and read. It's not difficult to do. We did it when we were working for people. Now we're working for ourselves. We should be doing it right also. Why when we were doing it for people? Because they were paying us salary, so we were we were doing it on everything must be in place because we are working for people. Now we work for ourselves. Get the contract done. Learn. Yeah, that they are just mocking me, that's all. And I'm so used to this. Colin, I'll deal with you later, Colin. But truth to be told, I think we need to start learning how to do this. Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Share your thoughts, Aaron.
Oh, contracts are very important. For me, because of the complexity in my business, we actually have lawyers vet our contracts.
But is it also important for you to know what is in the contract? Or do you solely depend on what your lawyers tell you?
No, absolutely. I mean, simple contracts, I actually write them out myself. Like simple employment contracts, yes, we write them out ourselves. But for directors' contracts, constitution amendments, these are all vetted by lawyers.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Samita, welcome. I just want to ask you, Samita.
Yes.
Okay. You run your own place, right?
Yes.
You're having a sore throat.
Cough.
Oh boy. All right. Okay. Just out of curiosity, you run your own businesses. I'm sure you've got contracts drawn up with certain parties, right?
Yes, I do have contracts.
Okay. Do you read up these contracts to see whether it favors you? Do you seek assistance from people? How do you go with this, Amita? Maybe you can share.
I normally download a template and then I'll just run it through with my friend. She's a lawyer. Not run it through as like give her the document, but like just verbally ask her questions
Okay.
on things that I should be aware of or any clause that I should include in. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. All right. You see, this is also another way of learning how to do things. So we are not dependent on other people. We just ask them, what are the things that we need to, catchy phrases, catchy clauses that, that are there, so that at least we know what we're actually doing. It's not difficult to come up with it. It's actually kind of easy. And I think even let's ask, who else? Fatima, are you there?
Yes.
Fatima, how do you manage? It's just you and your business partner, right?
Yeah.
But you have got suppliers, you've got vendors that you deal with, and you've got other parties that you have dealings with also, correct?
Yeah, the manufacturer.
Okay, ada contract tak?
We don't have contract. Because, we don't have contract because it's not constant, right? We do some printing over here, and then we do printing box with other suppliers. So it's not with one manufacturer.
Okay, so you've got multiple suppliers lah tu.
Yes, correct.
Okay, but do you have repeat orders with the same supplier? Ada tak?
Yes, we do repeat, but I'm not sure on the contract because on this matter, usually my partner is handling it.
Okay, you should know also,
Yeah.
You should be aware of it. You cannot say that it's just your partner who knows what's actually going on in terms of contracts. How can you not know? You have to make it your business to find out.
It's my sister. We are both sisters.
Yes,
Really?
family also, it doesn't matter. You have to make it your business to find out how is she doing it.
Because
Because
because you know, we just go through like when you buy things from Alibaba, right? Um, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about the contract, but we just go through like purchase order, invoices, things like that. But contract, I'm not really sure about that.
okay, Fatima, let's take for example, I'm your supplier. Okay, I'm your supplier. And for last year, I've quoted a certain price for printing of boxes. I've quoted a specific price and you have been happy with it. And you've been using that same price the whole of last year, no increase. But this year, because of COVID, business is not too good. I have increased my prices by 40%. Okay, and you feel that, hey, dah lah, this pandemic, and then he has increased, Jude has increased the cost by 40%. How would you deal with this? Because you don't have any agreement with your suppliers. How are you going to deal with this? Cari supplier lain.
Usually, that's what we do.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I think because we are not a bigger scale of production, we don't produce in a bigger scale. I think that's why it does not really, you know, affect us. But if we are printing maybe like more than 10,000 or so, maybe we have to really look on the contract and everything. So let's say in a in a bigger production, something like that. But
How
should
do
we
you
take into account the contract things to look into it? Yeah.
pay your suppliers?
Pay through online.
Oh, just online transfer. Ada credit terms tak? 30 hari ke, 60 days ke, ada tak?
Yeah. Ada credit terms.
Okay, so if you've got credit terms all that, that means there must be a contract in place.
Yeah, sure. I think so. I just remember we because of the sea freight or something.
Of course.
Mm-mm.
Freight charges and all that, definitely you have a contract. Because kalau you kata you transfer online pun, there must be some credit terms. If you got credit terms, you must have a contract in place. A simple contract also, it doesn't matter, but definitely
Yeah, I think.
having a contract. Penting for everybody to know what is it that you're, even though it can be a sibling, it can be a friend, but you must be in the know. It's not that you nak potong trip ke apa ke, but you kena tahu jugalah what is happening.
True, I agree.
Yeah, make it your business to know so that at least we do things better. Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. I want feedback from you all because this is what coaching is about. This is what this is about. Okay. Anybody else wants to give their feedback on this? Or can we just, overlook contracts and just say, never mind?
Jude,
Yes.
what about the distributorship and also the agent who's going to sell your product, right? So that type of contract, do we need to go through lawyer as well?
Now, I think there are standard templates out there also. I've seen it for distributors and all that. Okay. So you can use that, no problem.
Okay.
I think the only challenging part would be like there will be certain terms, certain clauses in there. It may not favor the distributor per se. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so now some distributors will want you to make amends to the contract.
Okay.
So at the negotiation stage itself, they'll tell you that we want this changed in the contract, that changed in the contract. Now, how are you going to know whether this is going to work for you or against you?
Yeah.
So we must make it our business to find out. This is how
because I never done it before because I don't have any currently I don't have any distributor yet for my products.
Once you start, you will need to, right?
Yeah. Because I did look through online and everything. There have few templates actually.
Yeah. But careful also when you just take templates, because some of the templates are not meant we have this thing called boilerplate clauses.
Yeah.
Then it's just, you just use it again and again and again. It's common for everything. But also be mindful that sometimes there are certain clauses you need to put in to safeguard yourself.
Okay,
Because all our businesses are growing. All our businesses are growing. So we need to make sure that it can be even employment contracts also,
Yeah.
Please be careful with that. Otherwise, you end up in the industrial court.
Yeah.
If it's even you take in interns also, make sure you have a contract in place. You can't abuse them. You can't overuse them, because if they make a complaint back to the university will come looking for you. All kinds of things can go wrong. So we need to be familiar. As I said, we also need to make it our business to read, find out, educate ourselves, so that even if people ask, we know what it is. You can ask professional subject matter experts, lawyers, you can ask them, of course, but then you also need to ask them the right questions. And not everybody is going to do pro bono for you. Not all the time, every time. It's not going to work.
Yeah, because especially if the distributorship is from another country, so that's what I'm thinking. Like the minimum purchase, their payment term, and everything. So
yeah, freight charges, the HS code, all these things. Everything comes into play. You will need to look for somebody who's a forwarder who's going to arrange all this for you, right? Yeah. So how do you you can't just go to one forwarder and take his word for it. You will want to meet several forwarders, okay, and you will want to pick from there. And it's not only about cost, but also in terms of quality. Can they deliver or not? Can they deliver or not? So again, you'll get into a contract.
Okay.
Can't run from it.
But all these things we can just do it like without any lawyer consult, or I have to get a lawyer consult for this, like professional consult for this as well.
I think for the bigger ones, please get a professional consult.
Okay.
Yeah, for the bigger ones, yes. The small ones, I think no need to run. You run to your lawyer friends all the time. After they also get fed up with you.
Yeah, that's why.
Then they stop answering your calls. They just ignore you after that. So don't.
Okay.
I think only for bigger ones you go looking for them. But small, simple things, no need.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jude.
No worries. Anyone else?
Would you like to hear my controversial view from a small business point of view?
Sure.
Okay. I understand, yes, the importance of contracts because I deal with it fairly often in my line of work.
Okay.
But in terms of business, right? Let's just take venue rental for example. If let's say I draw up, I'll be very honest and upfront with you. I don't have a signed written contract with my venue provider.
Okay.
Why this is the case is because I actually have several venue options in place, right? But my go-to number one option will always be first choice lah.
Okay.
And now you see, if you lock yourself down in a what is this contract, right? It becomes a double-edged sword because on one hand you get to secure the venue for yourself, but then if you take the example of malls and its individual shops recently, right? When the malls are closed, the operators are at the mercy of these landlords. Whether they
Absolutely.
charge or whether they waive, it's uncertain. And then sometimes even when recently like 1U they had all these like cases occurring there, right? After that they open, but the public is still scared to go. Then the individual shop owners, they know that there's no business, nobody there. They want to close shop, but if they close shop, they get penalized all the way. So contracts are usually drawn up in such a way whereby leans towards the benefit of the bigger party. So if you're small, right, I don't think it's wise to enter into so many contracts if you can get away with it. It gives you more flexibility as well. So for example, in my case, right now, since I don't have a contract for my venue, I don't suffer any rental expenses throughout these few months. That saves me a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, but that said, I understand, as you mentioned just now, from a bigger business perspective, very important.
T, just a question. This venue that you're using, right? I think you mentioned somewhere in Bukit Jalil, is it?
Yep.
Okay. The owner is someone known to you.
Yeah, we have a gentleman's agreement, so to say.
Okay. The gentleman's agreement can be quite dangerous also, huh?
Yeah, we understand that. We are aware.
Okay. Just to be mindful of this, okay? Because what can also happen is this. Now, you're using the facility and you pay him accordingly, correct?
Yep.
What if someone else comes into the picture and says that, they say that they want to use the facilities as well, but they're willing to pay more than what you are actually offering?
Yeah, two options there. We either move to my option number 2, or we'll go and quickly sign an actual contract to whack the person.
Can you see how this thing
Yeah,
can
no,
work
I
for
understand.
you?
I only do it when it's
When
absolutely
you're pushed to
necessary.
it, when you
Mm.
push to do it, right?
No,
Yeah.
because all these things come at a cost, you see.
Yeah, of course.
And for a small business, it's very painful to do all this. Not painful in terms of time and effort, but if we are not careful in drafting the contract correctly, right, and we can't foresee every single force majeure scenario here. Okay, so if shit hits the fan, right? So sorry about that. We will be the one who suffer because of that contract also.
Yeah. You see, when you talk about force majeure, I just want to tell you something. Look at this COVID thing now. Can we blame it on the act of God?
Don't know.
Exactly. We don't know where to park COVID-19. I've been talking to a lot of people, we don't know where to park it also. Because if we say it's an act of God, now, question mark also. There's a lot of things to say. It's good that we read, we find out, look at stuff. Why I actually threw that question to you is, what if somebody else wants to use it? You may have a gentleman's agreement, but at the end of the day, it's a survival thing also. And what if he decides that, if he wants to give it off to someone else and tells you, T, sorry lah, you have to move somewhere else. I've already got someone else who wants to use this place. Yeah, and then at that moment we are running to get a contract drawn up. Or we move to, plan B or plan C or whatever that we have in mind. I think sometimes, for me lah, I know it can work for you, it can work against you also. But contracts are good to be in place.
Yep, no doubt. For in terms of supplier wise, if you need a constant supply, yes, agreed. But if your supply is inconsistent, right, then why do you even want to lock yourself there?
Okay, these parents who come and leave their kids with you for, it's football coaching, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do they sign an indemnity form or anything of that sort?
Indemnity form only during tournaments and during actual competition. During the actual training, no.
Okay, so let's say if they come for training and all that and they injure themselves, so are you held liable, or you are free of, you're indemnified of this? What if the child falls and fractures his arm or his leg? God forbid, of course. What happens then?
No, it's happened before. So so far we do our best to issue out immediate medical treatment, and also offer to send the kid to a clinic with the parents as well lah. So and the parents appreciate that, but I understand where this is going lah. What if the parents are one kind and decides to blame us instead? I Yeah, for this particular one, I agree. I am leaving myself out in the open.
Yes, you have opened. You've left. Sorry to say this, but I think you have left doors open. And sorry, but it's also multiple doors which people can enter. Just like how this government, we have a backdoor government. Sorry to say, but it's an avenue. It's an opening.
Yep.
So it's a risk factor. Why I actually ask you this question is because, I mean, I come from education, so I know. I can tell you, even if we take students on a trip, okay, how many times I've taken students out, college students and all that, I've taken them for trips here and there. I make sure I prepare the letter of indemnity. Take it back home, get your parents to sign it, because I don't want to be held liable. The college doesn't want to be held liable as well. Because sometimes when we take the responsibility, there's a bit too much also that comes with it. So again, that's why I asked you whether do you have these things in place. Again, that's also part of a contract that you will cover certain things. How much of medical treatment can you cover? There's also a limit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Is this clearly stipulated somewhere, or is this just even a verbal agreement that we just agree, okay, it's probably maybe I'll only cover until 300 ringgit. That's it. Anything more than that, you have to bear the expenses. So how do we get this across to other people?
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah. No, I think this is good because coaching sessions are actually meant to help you all to start thinking. And I need to pose questions, you need to pose questions so that we can all start thinking and looking for solutions, not just sitting here and then you look back today and you think, what did I do for so many hours? What was it all about? Now at least there's some takeaway. When you leave this room, you'll be like, okay, Jude said something. I think even if you feel that it doesn't make sense 100%, you may also feel that I think he's got a point somewhere. So, okay, maybe I need to do something. I mean, I'm not looking at you guys as training participants. I'm treating all of you as family. So if I'm treating all of you as family, I will look out for you. That's the whole purpose of this also. So if I see that something is not in place, there's a red flag there. So you may want to consider. You may want to consider this. I mean, how much of medical would you cover? How much have you covered in the past? Let's say lah.
Not much so far, sir.
Okay. I'm a very if I'm married, if I have kids, okay, if I send my kid to you, I'll be a very demanding parent. And if anything happens to my kid, that's it. What happens if, okay, you decide that you want to send the child to a particular clinic, but I have got my own reservations. I want to send him to another clinic. What happens now?
Yeah, by all means, go ahead.
Are you going to cover the cost?
We haven't come across such a situation whereby this has ever happened, but good thinking point. I think setting a limitation as to how much you'll cover will be good in the first place.
Yes.
And yeah, my thought is this: in competitions and in a competitive setting, right, the chances of injury is much higher. But then for training, right, which is quite less intensive, Yeah, there is a risk present, but it's how do I put this? It's low to the point where if I give the parents so many things to sign upon registration, right, they may think twice and like,
Yeah, it
it's
has its pros and cons, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, it has its pros and cons. But either way, also, you do it, also there might be a problem. You don't do it, also there might be a problem. So where is it that we draw the line and say we need to do or we don't need to do this? I'm just throwing thoughts, situations at you because I don't coach for football. Okay, I don't train young kids, but I've dealt with students, and even when you're taking them anywhere for anything, even family day stuff like this also, it becomes so complicated sometimes. Messy lah. Just to avoid all this, sometimes I think it's good, even if it's a simple thing. Get parents to sign it as well so that they know where they stand, you know where you stand.
Yep.
Okay, just my 2 cents worth.
No, much appreciated.
Just my 2 cents worth. Okay. Anyone else? Please feel free to give some input as well on this contracts bit.
Oh, contract. Can I ask something other than contracts?
Boleh.
Because just now you did mention about the internship programs, right? So let's say, because is there any specific allowance that or regulation we have to implement when we take interns? There's
You
none.
just tie up with a university or a college, all right? Or you can randomly find out from student affairs in universities, and they will be able to give you a list of candidates. You can interview the candidates and you can select from there.
How about the salary? I mean the allowance for the candidate. Is there any specific amount?
Now, buat masa ni, we have come to the stage where some companies, because the students need to do their internship, they're not paying them 5 cents or so. I think that's wrong. For me, that's unethical. That's unethical. So I think even if you pay them maybe 300, 500, pun okay juga.
Yes, we used to take intern last time, so we pay around 600 around that lah.
Yeah, so it's still about the same thing.
Underpaid lah, because that's I'm asking you the questions.
Yeah, because you see, if a permanent staff is getting 1,001, 1,002, I don't know, interns, I think you pay them 500, 600 pun jadilah. Because they are not there actually for the salary, they are there for the experience.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and you are giving them that experience, so use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage.
Okay, thank you.
Even interns, kalau dia datang pun, also you have to have a contract.
Such as some contract, because usually last time when they come, so we just accept the application. So usually they say they want to do intern our company for 3 months. So we just accept the application. So they start do their intern from day 1 until 3rd month, you know. So we pay them around 600 a month per pack, per person. So we don't have any special contract with them.
The moment you sign the application, they sign the application, they bring, you take over, they take over, you've got some documents that the university has asked you to sign, chop and sign, a contract is already in place.
I don't pay any insurance because according to the lecturer, the student already have the insurance.
Yeah. No. What I said was, it's not about insurance. Walaupun we didn't draw up an official agreement, tetapi memandangkan dah ada borang, okay, student dah isi, pihak majikan dah chop, dah sign benda tu, ada masuk agreement lah tu. Ada kontrak lah tu. So sepanjang 6 bulan tu, or 3 months ke 6 months, you keep the student, tanggungjawab employer lah. Okay, and the university will send somebody to come and check also what's happening to the student. So there's also things that you cannot abuse the student because he or she is still a student. So whether physically you have a contract or not, as long as you chop and sign already, you already got into negotiation and signed and sealed, and there's a contract in place already.
So do we need to set the they call it SOP, like they have to come certain hours or certain day? So is
Yeah,
it compulsory to do that?
of course. Of course. How do you can't ask interns to work overtime? Tak boleh.
But let's say kita suruh dia overtime, but
You
we
pay
pay
them.
them. Yeah, is it okay?
That's okay. But you can't ask them to do overtime, force them to do overtime. Kalau dia cakap dia tak nak buat, you cannot force. Tak boleh paksa pun. You paksa and see what happens. They won't. So you have to be smart in doing this also. I've dealt with interns. I've had interns have sat with me until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. But I make sure what I do, 7 something, I make sure that, they're staying with me at work. I give them dinner. The reason why I asked them, why you don't want to go back home? Why is it, no, we prefer to stay with you and do work.
They're willing to stay, right? They're willing to stay.
So they are willing to stay. It's not that I'm forcing them to stay. But because they're willing to stay, so I take care in the sense that I give them dinner. I just give them something simple. So, if I'm going out, I take them together with me and go and makan and come back.
But because I'm the manufacturing line, so it is not wrong. Like if I ask them to work overtime, but I pay them for the overtime, it's okay, right? It's not give them, right?
Kalau you tak nak bayar pun, you don't want to give in monetary form, you can always give them in other things, vouchers ke. You can give them all this also because they're students. They will be very happy. Okay, can do that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We give free holiday to our team. I want to join your company, Ken. Got vacancy or not?
Seriously, we get really nice holiday at 5-star hotels and resorts, our team. Yeah.
Got vacancy or not? I want to join.
I also want to join the Anna, please.
And join my army. Seriously, it's open. I just have like a lot of bosses as well. Just join our team. I also don't know why.
Okay. So I'll join them. I'll put in my application. Free holiday siapa tak nak? Lepas COVID ni kita pergi cuti ya. But please so whoever you're drawing contracts up with, please, simple contracts, even if it's just one sheet of paper pun tak apa, but make sure you have everything in place. Okay, I don't want to dwell too much into that. I want to move on to the final part. I will share these documents. You can take it from Colin. If it's, you find it useful, use it. Otherwise, you want to use your own, come up with things, feel free. You want to ask me if you have done something, you're not really certain. Okay, let's ask Jude. Okay, ask. Please ask. No worries. All right. If I don't respond to you immediately, I still owe 2 people. I think I have not responded to them yet. If I don't respond to you immediately, please be patient. I will come back to you. Cik. Macam lah aku ni celebrity sangat. Okay. But of course. What else? Let's move on. I want to talk about how you're going to retain your employees. I want to touch a little bit on this. We have done a lot of things. We've spoken about this. Have any of you given it some thought about how you're going to retain people at work? I need to hear from you guys, not me.
For me, I think to retain people, I think one of the main, from what my observation, you need to pay people well. If people feel that you provide value, first, of course, people need monetary value because they need to survive, right? And then the other thing is like maybe added value. What can they learn? How can they develop themselves? How can they thrive while being in that position or being in your business or in your company, right? Working for you. If they are still stagnant and they don't learn much, if it's like more like a robotic job, just need them to like greet client, and then if they cannot expand their skill, they cannot develop, they don't have like good learning curve, I feel maybe it'll be harder to retain people.
Okay. The rest, anybody else? What do you think? Please share your thoughts.
I think in order for us to retain our employees, number one, we have to treat them well. and then in terms of healthy working environment, and then yeah, maybe the reasonable amount of salary, and would give them some benefits. And because I think everybody, you know, because as an employee, you go to work because you want to earn income, right? So if you cannot get the good income, so I think we cannot stop them from leaving our company. So I think it's not fair for us to stop them. So I always apply that concept. I try to give them the best that we can offer them, give them training or whatever the company can give. But at the end, if they decided to go to some other company, I mean, I won't stop them. In fact, I wish them good luck in their future. So I think everybody have their own right. They have their own plan. So as long as we do our part, I think we are in the right track. So it is my opinion.
Thank you. Anyone else? How are we going to attract people? Aaron?
For me, I think about it like similar to Diana. Yes, I would give them good pay, good environment. I think the environment matters, the pay matters. That's their essentials. But I think what else that could retain them longer would also be you talking to them as a person, not as a boss. I
Agreed.
think the human element needs to be there.
I like that. In fact, I love that. That human element. I think, or rather, I would actually push this through and tell you that, yeah, the human element. If you lose it, then you lose good people as well. You lose good people. So, yeah, thanks, Aaron. Slick, are you there? Slick? Okay. Irene? Okay. Vishal, you've been in HR for long time,
Yeah.
right? So you should have years of experience in dealing with, the struggles of retaining people, correct? With different departments also.
Yep.
Maybe what can we do differently if you want to hold people, if you want to get people to be attracted to what we are actually offering?
Well, the first thing is, of course, a good salary package because everybody's working for the money. There's no two thing about that. So when you're hiring somebody for the workload that they are doing, have a proper remuneration package for them. So that itself is a reason for them to stay, and they know that they have opportunity to grow.
Okay.
So yeah, after that is of course all the enforcements and what do you say, acknowledging them.
Yeah, the acknowledgement bit.
Yeah, acknowledging is the most important because, like I said the other time, the slightest thing, even a tap on their shoulder, makes a lot of difference. It actually encourages them to work even better or put in more effort. And I don't know, have a good support system. Don't be like, I come to work, I give you a job to you do, and then the next time I see you is the next 1 month. So have some good interactions with the staff, have some bond, create the bond. I mean, there's so many factors to look into.
I have always practiced bonding with interns that I've taken in, staff, and I've always been criticized for being too buddy with them. Okay, I've always been criticized. And at the same time, I've always produced achievers.
Yeah, because I mean, those days, I mean, like my grandparents, yeah, they just go to work, they do their work and they come off. There's not much interactions. And then you can see our parents' time, there was little interactions. Our time, there is a little bit of both. You have those who are still uh, don't want to interact, they just come do their work and go. You have those who want to interact. But the current generation, they're already having so much interactions in school. It's like totally different exposure. So if you bring them to the working world and say, okay, this is your cubicle and you sit inside four walls, that will definitely shut them off.
Yeah, we lose people because of this.
Correct.
Yeah, we lose people because of this. Because as I said, I mean, I've sat down with certain HR directors, certain HR managers for interview sessions, looking for candidates. If they're asking for gym membership, I'm beginning to wonder, what is this current generation looking for? You and I would look for job security,
Yeah.
benefits, housing, car, perhaps maybe allowances. We would also want to look for, medical benefits, dental, optical. These are things that the common things that we're all looking for.
Yeah.
But if someone is asking for gym membership and all that, what has actually happened?
I mean, like it has changed. The needs have changed. So, I mean, if we want to grow along with the current generation, then we have to do some changes in between. We don't have to give them the extreme, but we can just give them something.
Yeah, you're right, because that's what I'm actually talking about. And this is what I'm actually driving across to all of you. What are you going to do differently? That's what I want to know, because I'm going to keep urging you all to take interns. I'm going to keep urging you guys to take in interns because I think they're the best people for you to coach. And if you want to get things done, also they know easier methods of doing things because they want shortcut to do their work. So they will make life easy for you also. Of course, there'll be some who will make life even more difficult for you. Be prepared for that as well. But generally, most of them, they will look for the shortcut and they'll do their work very fast. So how does that benefit you? You need to see that for long term. Okay, you need to see that for long term. Take them in, even as interns. If you take them, you groom them, see what needs to be done for, I don't know, how many of you have taken back, I don't know whether any of you have taken interns or not. Maybe Hayati, are you there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The interns that you have pernah ambil dulu kan?
Yep. Quite a number of time.
Okay, pernah ambil tak sebagai full time staff balik?
Yeah, quite a number. I think so far 2 of them.
Okay, kenapa Why have they decided to come back? Kenapa
Because they perform very well, and then before their internship program over, we already offered them the job, so they agreed to join us lah.
Okay, now they've been with you all for some time already kan?
Yeah. 1 year plus already.
Okay, you see, this is how we actually do it. She's done it. She's managed to retain the staff who came in as interns and now have become full-time employees already. So again, it's us. It's our selling point. What are we doing? Okay. I just share a few things. Where's the best method to hire interns? Where? Are you looking for a particular link or something? Diana? Where to find? Okay. We have got tons of colleges and universities. Pick up the phone, call up. You can find on the website itself. Call up their head of student affairs. All right. Whoever's in charge of internship, call and speak directly. Find out. Ask them what batch of students they have, from which faculty. Make sure also that it's related to what you do, nature of business. Find some relativity in that as well before you take them in. Otherwise, people get bored. I know I've taken some interns who have got no connection whatsoever with, especially for logistics and supply chain. They are engineers, they are from studying engineering, but they have been so interested in wanting to come into logistics, and I've taken them in. And why have I taken them in? They are good. They are good. They pick things up. Their strengths are good. They are very meticulous in the way they do things. They are very strategic in the way they think. They're youngsters, but that's it. I think if you don't want to, employ so many, take in so many interns, just even one, call up the universities. Okay, you did your internship in a radiology department in a hospital. Radiology not easy, right?
No. So basically it's like not really related because I'm not like in medical line, more like physics. But yeah, it worked.
Yeah. How many months were you there?
2 or 3. But actually, to be honest, I work more on the machines there. We have like gamma ray machines, we have MRI machines. So it's more like working with the principles of the machine, handling the radioactive stuff in the radiology department. Yeah.
Look at the knowledge you gained just by going there. I mean, if you had not gone there, you would not be able to speak like this, correct? The things that you know, radiology, gamma, and all these things you're saying. Some people may not, if we're not familiar with all this terminology, we'll be thinking, what are you speaking about? It may sound like rocket science. But, the exposure is there. So you have that opportunity. That's why I said it's good. Take in.
I even attended surgery. The doctors there give us opportunity because like I a bit kepochi, want to learn everything. Then the doctor also become they're our supervisor, but they're like close to me. I mean professionally, right? And then they just invite us to attend surgeries and stuff. So quite interesting experience.
I've been through surgeries, but I've never attended a surgery. Never watched one, except on TV. But of course, I've gone through surgery, so that's a different story by itself. But again, exposure. Okay, so be mindful. I don't know, you may want to think about doing this because this is how we take and how we retain. Okay, I'm then just going to share a few more thoughts with you guys. We talk about a lot about perks. I think Asnawi previously during the class he mentioned about giving out. They've got a refrigerator, and then they've got this facility where you can microwave things and keep things in the fridge. So all these things are there, and it's needed today, I think. But I also want to talk to you about this is something that's alarming, so that's why I actually want to address it. Wellness programs. Maybe it's not something that you would want to consider now, because maybe you're not really there yet. Okay, but something to think about. Wellness programs for your staff. This is what they're asking about gym membership and all that. They're looking at things from a different angle. So again, I don't know, maybe you may want to come up with, I know a lot of companies where they do exercise in the morning. They have got futsal in the evening, and this is what people are looking for. Think these little things actually retain people. I'm looking at a lot of my old students that I've taught who have stuck on with companies simply because of these kind of things. Oh, the company, we have got futsal every Friday, sir. Oh, okay. They have given us gym membership. They're paying for it. So I go to the gym 3 times a week. Oh, okay. Look at their interest, the point which they're driving across. It's more of wellness. So this is another thing that we may want to consider in the long run, looking at it. Okay. Anybody else? You feel that there will be other ways that, or you may want to explore. Maybe you want to share ideas about how you intend to recruit, how you intend to retain, perhaps, maybe. I'm opening it up to you guys to share your thoughts. No one wants to say anything. Jude is left to say everything. I have to ask, who else is here? Asnawi, are you there?
Yes, sir. At last, I'm here.
You praise God lah.
Sorry. Baru keluar nak masuk KL. So, tadi
Okay.
line sampai ke sudah tak dengar benda dia cakap. Macam dengar R2D2 daripada Star Wars.
Oh, yo. Okay, glad that you are back. Dengar tak tadi apa saya cakap? Apa yang saya kongsi tadi? Pasal, okay, kalau kita nak retain, katakan maybe even interns kan, lepas diorang habis tamat pengajian, kalau kita nak retain diorang tu, apa yang kita boleh buat? What can we possibly do to retain them?
Oh, okay. You know, as a person that involved in career coaching for new graduates,
Fantastic.
Do not think about retain them too long.
Okay.
That is the mindset that we have to prepare because nowadays, number one, our young generations have been exposed to many things that look simpler but much easier, and they think it is much richer by doing that. So my experience is, do not expect them to stay more than 2 years. We have to prepare our mindset, especially to young generation. Okay, why? Just I mentioned. But if you can retain them by giving them directions, by giving them the dreams and also the power that they can do. Because this is the thing that we actually do. If you ask me, sebenarnya I baru je handle yesterday untuk satu staff 2 bulan probation and then dia stop, dia berhenti sebab dia kata duit tak cukup. And I was like, kenapa? Oh, dia kata I nak kahwin, nak apa semua tu. And then he believed that because he has done his business before this. I said yes, because you have options. So I said, it's okay. Berhenti dengan baik. So give me a resignation letter and everything. You clear up everything and then I wish you all the best. And then if you have anything that you would like to, you know, propose ke apa ataupun nak promote, do give us the poster, kita promote dekat staff. Okay. So dia jual handbag perempuan. So if you ask me, sir, I do not imagine people to stay long because that is how they work for our younger generations. But if they can stay, it means that there's something that they wanted from you and they want to grab it as fast as they can. So if you can provide that, then that will be great. And then I really love your suggestion about wellness program because my previous company, they started to do it last 2 years. And it's good, actually it's good because you know, badminton once a month. And then suddenly ada satu hari tu kita buat yoga, bukan yoga, apa, hit training. You know, some sort like aerobic.
Yes.
So kita buat Jumaat pagi dalam pukul 9 until 11 and then half day tu kira relax lah. 11 tu sembang-sembang, buat lepak apa semua. And then mandi and then solat Jumaat. So that was my experience. I really love that kind of suggestion. So that is my perspective on hiring. And then as a HR, when I spoke to my management, memang kami punya mindset adalah tak apa. Dia mesti pergi dengan baik dan kita mesti pastikan apa yang dia perlu, at least kita dah provide within this 1 month ke 2 month ke 1 year ke. We have done our best. That's it. We have done our best. Macam tu je lah.
Thanks, Asnawi. Thank you. So this is solid because he's actually dealing with them. Okay, dealing with young ones who are coming out. He's actually coaching them. I think he's also quite honest in saying that you can't keep them long. But again, if you look at what Hayati has done, she has managed to retain them for the last 1 year. Are they going to stay on for the next couple of years? It's a question mark. So what we do differently. That's why I said we're dealing with people management. So this is where it becomes very complicated. You can't give in to everything, but at the same time, you also need to strike a balance also. This is good. I think Asnawi's sharing was also quite good. Samita, you do a lot of coaching as well, right? You counsel.
Yes, I
So what are your thoughts on this, Amita?
sorry, on what?
Yeah, what are your thoughts, on if we want to retain people, what should we be doing differently if we want to retain people?
I deal a lot with Gen Y and Gen Z, so
Okay.
uh, I totally agree that they are very different. And for me, if I want to tie them down to the company, then they need to see a bigger purpose.
Agreed.
It's not just how much of money am I going to make. If they don't see that purpose, I don't see them sticking.
Mm. So it must be purpose driven, huh?
Purpose, yeah, that's what I noticed. They are very
Mm.
purpose driven.
Mm. Purpose driven. Because I think I would have to agree with you 100% on this. Most of the interns, the young ones to be taken, they always ask us, what's in it for them? They want to know what's the purpose. Anything that you give them to do, and they've got questions to ask.
True, and sometimes people take that wrongly, like they are being
Yeah.
rebellious or something like that, but they are not. They're just being genuinely, authentically asking what's in it for them because they want to deliver more value. But maybe the way they ask is wrong, but I think as someone who's older than them, we should also be understanding in like why are they asking this? Have a conversation with them.
Thanks, Amita. I think I just want to elaborate a little bit more on what Samita just said. There's no such thing as actually the younger ones, even the teenage group that's coming up from varsity and all that. Um, Actually, their intentions are not to be rude to people. They're not. It's just that the manner in which they talk to people today is different from the way we are. And can we accept that? Because we even get young ones talking to us differently. You don't even have to talk about teenagers or even um, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z that's there already. It's not about all these people. Even the small ones, the young ones are also questioning us, and they can sound pretty rude as well. So how do we take it? How do we accept that? This is a thing that how we answer them in return makes a lot of difference. And whether they're staying or they're leaving, that's where it is. This is where your communication skills come in. It's got to do a lot with your EQ also lah. You have to be emotionally intelligent to deal with these people also. All right, how you manage it. Okay. Hire intern ada banyak cara untuk cari mereka. Direct ke university, yes, that's what I said. Post je dekat media social, yes. Suruh kawan-kawan share, okay. Post dalam FB group, yeah, you can find anywhere actually. I get a lot of interns, so in future anybody speaks to me, I'll probably link them with you guys. I'll arrange for them to go to you guys. So figure out, there's tons of things that we can do. Don't always also, I just want to share this, don't always have this thought pattern that just because they are fresh grads, they know nothing, the way they speak, so we judge them and we label them according to that. Please don't. Because I deal a lot with youngsters, with teenagers, and I'm just telling you this, they are the driving force today. They are the driving force. Okay. We need them. We need them. So please be mindful of what you plan to do with them also. I'm just giving you thoughts. But if you want to employ contract staff, even contract staff today also, how much can you get from them? Are they committed? What is the level of commitment? We ask people this also, even for full-time staff also, we ask them, we look at their level of commitment. People don't want to do more. The habit of walking the extra mile has become very scarce today. We hardly see people doing it. And if we actually see people doing it, we are like, wow, we are shocked. So sharing my 2 cents worth about these things. Anybody else wants to contribute? Asnawi has said some stuff. Diana, a few of our key team members are actually students. I learn a lot from them. Yes, they're certainly creative, and yeah, you look at their critical thinking skills, they're different.
Yeah, like for our team members, right? Very eager. But I mean, of course, they're young. So to be honest, like working with young people, you will notice like you're gonna feel yourself like old. You know, like our energy level is not as on par with them, and I really appreciate that because yeah, they channel energy into the team, and then they also look at things at different perspective that sometimes you don't even, you know, it doesn't even cross your mind. Like our team member, one of our key team member, he's a student, he's a university student, and then he actually rebrand. We always do not advertisement, we always do like posting or content, right, for social media. And then on his personal, he actually take the products that, you know, I share with them and the content that we did. He actually, you know, totally revamped the entire thing, and you know, it feels so fresh. Like for example, what Satesh teach us, you know, it should be like 80-20, the way you handle your content. You should not be selling posts, but then he did it like in an informative way, so that when people read it, people learn facts. For example, facts about playing piano, or facts about learning violin, facts about you know, different, you know, crazy facts that he got from internet. I mean, he did his research, so I thought that was really creative, and yeah, I really appreciate that.
Look at their mindset. It's entirely different from the way we do marketing and the way we approach people. It's different. And we cannot turn them away for thinking in the way they do. We need to have, I always will tell you this, and I'm going to highlight this for all of you to think. You need variety. Yeah? You need variety. So don't be specific about only certain kind of people only you want in your organization. You need variety. It's only when you have variety you can see a lot of things changing, not only with you but with your organization as well. Variety. And we need to figure that out, because not all of us are adaptive to these things. I think generally most of us don't like to be challenged. We don't like it, but they like challenges. So how do you manage that? I mean, it's food for thought. It's food for thought. It's food for thought. If you go back and see whatever that I've given you, and if you start reading and you start exploring, you'll find out that there's lots of stuff that you can figure out. Okay, anyone else with any thoughts, any other thoughts, anything else you want to share? Now, just a few things that I want to tell you. Colin, I have a question.
I'm here.
Colin, if we end by 9:30, would that be okay?
It's 9:30 today.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now, before we actually end, I want to reach out to all of you. Right? I want to reach out to all of you to tell you that it doesn't mean that if the program comes to an end or the coaching sessions finish, so we part ways. I'm telling you this because this is something that I do. All right. And Colin is also the same kind of person. And that is why we gel in that sense. And the rest of the team, the rest of the trainers who are here. I just want to tell you, reach out to us. If there's things that you don't know, ask. Even if we cannot answer them, we will get somebody who knows to help you. But if you don't reach out to us, we will not be able to do mind reading and figure out what you are actually looking for. All right. So come back to us, ask us. It doesn't mean, oh, they only said coaching is only for this. These are the only things that, no, please ask. All right. My areas of specialization, I've shared with you guys, so you know that I do multiple areas. Come back to me if you need assistance. Okay, that's what we are here for. All right, come back to us. Don't just I don't know, so I just keep quiet about it. It's so important. I think I highlighted this in the beginning. it's so important that you ask the right people also. You ask the wrong people, you get the wrong information. So good to come back to the source and then you ask for questions, get your answers. All right. I don't want to keep you all any longer because I think basically what I wanted to do today was just to run through a lot of, on all these things. But anyone else has any questions you want to ask, anything you want to highlight?
Yeah, I just want to ask, so basically, right, Jude, like, I think the past 2 weeks we have classes and now we have coaching session, right? What I'm trying to do as I learned throughout these 2 weeks is like, I learned so much that needs to be done for our business. And then that's why it takes a while to do things. So I plan to do it, get whatever that you guys teach us into action. But then is there a session where we can come back and revisit, for example, like, for example, I want to set up a session with you so that we just go through, for example, my business, and then I just want to see how far am I in terms of score for corporate governance, so that we have a run through.
Okay. You can go back to Colin. Colin will get in touch with me, can arrange for a session, no problem.
Okay.
No,
So
I like it because guys, I also want to tell you, if you're looking at KPIs and all that, you can also talk to me about that.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely want to do that. KPIs. Wow.
So you can talk to me about these things.
What about like leadership? Because leadership for our team. Because once you own a business and then there's like a lot of people, I think that's also a big part of business itself. Because if people are not moving or motivated or inspired, then I think the business will not do well.
Yes, you can talk to any one of us, the trainers. You can decide who you want to speak to.
Okay. And then just trying to understand the program. So we had a 2 weeks class, and then we have 12 hours of coaching sessions, like an open floor. And then what else after that?
Okay, that I'm going to hand you all back over to Colin. All right, he's going to do whatever he needs to say now. As far, I think you guys are okay with whatever that we have done for today. All right. If you have questions, please come back. No issues with that. I'm going to hand this over back to Colin, okay, so that he can tie up all the loose ends. And if you've got anything you wish to ask him, you can ask him. Colin, over to you, Colin.
Thank you, Mr. Jude.
Thanks, Colin.
Okay, now, as I mentioned, all the trainers, the coaches will be back to the group, and we will be supporting you guys for at least another 6 months to 1 year, which one we'll try to figure out how we can go about doing that. And there are some documents still pending, and I would want that over by this weekend. Your homeworks. This is to show that you guys learned in this particular program. It's our KPIs to show them. Hope you guys can support us in that. And we, as a company and our trainers, all will be supporting you guys till the end. And yep, I think it's been a long day for you guys. Let's see you guys on tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And we will finish this, right? Any questions you guys want to ask me at this point of time?
Does it mean we get to book sessions for like private session, for example? Sometimes some like business info are quite explicit. I mean, we don't want to share explicit business info with everyone, and then maybe people want to set up private session, for example, like we want to book Elango to check, not to check, it's more like, whether we are doing it right or not, the accounts and the practices, or maybe for Satesh for example, how we run our social media promotions and stuff, and Jude for our whether or not we are a compliant business, for example, right?
Yes. You could get to me, give me a call or WhatsApp me, and I will arrange time with any of the trainers. We'll be happy to help you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Colin. Yeah, thanks.
We are here to support you guys, so reach out to us.
Anybody else? I think most of them slept already on the chair.
Oh my God.
You guys there?
Yeah, we're good.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you all for being so patient and for cooperating and everything else that you did today. All right, for sharing, for networking. Truly appreciate it. Have a good night. Sleep well. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you,
Bye
Jude.
bye.
Thank you, Colin.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you,
Thank you so
Colin.
much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.
Hey, your baby is calling already. Calling.
Oh, you can hear that. Oh my. I thought you was hearing that.
No, I know it feels like babies, but yeah. Yeah, good luck. Good night. Have a good rest. I know you have things to get back to after this. Yeah, good night. Good
Yes.
night.
Good night.
Good night.